Hey everyone, and welcome to SneakerWeb. And today we have a very special shoe indeed. But before we get into that, I do just want to give a quick shout out to 3Up Prints. 3Up Print supplies our SneakerWeb apparel, and they also design their own. So make sure you go check them out for some awesome apparel. Now, back to these, Chris. This is the D Rose 11 performance review, and might I just say, I am so happy that D Rose has a shoe we can all be proud of now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is probably one of my favorite silhouettes by the D Rose line, and ultimately I like how they incorporated a lot into this shoe from previous shoes, which
Definitely.
again shows the growth. And performance-wise, I'm very excited to hear what you have to say about these.
Well, starting off with the bottom of the traction, Chris, which I know you're not going to touch because it's hella dirty. We do have the D Rose 7 traction pattern here, which represents the Chicago Fire, hence the extra stars at the bottom. Wow, that smells awful. But yes, this traction from the D Rose 7 and on this shoe works amazing. It's a bit soft, so I wouldn't recommend these as your main or possibly even your second outdoor shoe. So I would primarily try to use these indoors, which is, I know, hard for a lot of people during this pandemic, but that's just the case with these shoes. And these shoes were already designed 2 years ago, a year and a half ago before the pandemic started. So that's just what happens in the sneaker industry. But the traction in every single aspect, bit in every single situation. The only thing that I can critique about this is that on heavy dusty courts, and I'm talking about your 24 hours, the ones that don't get taken care of at all, the rec centers and all that, they do hold up. You do just have to wipe periodically. And again, like some people ask, that's a wipe. So, traction, amazing. Now, getting into the cushion, Chris, as you see behind me, we do have the Adidas Next Level, and that's what this cushion setup is based off of.
Okay.
And I know that you love this gradient.
I do. I think, personally, I mean, it's not even just the gradient for me, it's just the entire shoe silhouette-wise. This is like probably one of the best D Rose shoes I probably would own once it's fully released in the States.
Well, we do have one release date. That's why I tried to get this out as quickly as possible. The Brenda colorway released recently, and then we're gonna have a collector's pack, which is the D Rose 1 and the D Rose 11 coming out very quickly. But yes, back to the cushion. It is light strike, and from what I can tell, they did pack a bit more in here, so it's a bit firmer in the forefoot for more court feel, and a bit more plush in the heel, just so you have a nice transition going from heel to toe, which I mostly felt the forefoot cushioning because I'm a forefoot type player. Now, the firm ride, it was very responsive. I felt the court a lot, but I also had a good amount of impact protection without adding weight to the shoe. So that was a very good plus for me. And I know that you like a neutral ride, but you also like some court feel at the same time.
I do. I like to feel what I'm putting my foot in, basically. And this kind of does that with all the materials that they've added on the inside. I do like the soft padding that covers in on the ankles, which I do feel that it's very firm and it doesn't feel cheap or anything. The tongue, thin like most basketball tongues, but
it's again, not like the LeBron tongue, right, where it digs into.
It's not like the LeBron tongue, and it doesn't feel like I'm having to feel like it's going to either be scratching or my bottom of my foot is going to be sweating from those air bubbles that are sitting on the inside. It does have this, it's basically the same soft padding that goes all the way around. And granted, I could probably say that this is probably in my top 5 2020 basketball shoe rotation. I could say
so
that. So far, yeah.
Yes. That's before we get 2 more shoes, and I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and personally, I just think that overall, Adidas knew what they were doing with this shoe, performance-wise. I could see, I mean, you get a lot of basketball shoes that they don't really go, either they go for design-wise, and they try to look like an outside shoe, or they go for strictly performance, which they don't bother what the shoe looks like, they just want it to perform well.
Yes.
And I feel like they've kind of hit the bases with this shoe. Now, granted, if you are playing outside, like I do agree with you, I don't see this as being in your main rotation, even on the top 5 for outdoor sneakers.
Yes.
But if you are a natural court player, and even if you play like on a flat surface court and not like a grainy court or something that's very like textured wise, yeah, then I could see this outlasting that. But it probably would be more so of a indoor court shoe, and I would probably leave it at that.
Yes, and I do agree with you. And hitting on a couple of points that you made. So going to the fit section, this is a one-piece booty internally. So you do have a nice snug fit. Now, I will say that for wide footers and normal foot shapes who want a little bit of space, go true to size. But if you want that super snug fit, go down half a size, which some people do prefer. Now you do get a little toe bubbling when you do flex in that situation. It will flex at the toe, which is comforting, but you'll get like an extra bubble across the toes, which some people don't like. So I'm giving those people who don't like it that added advice. Now getting into the support section, you have a very nice wide base all around the shoe, so you don't feel like you're going to tip over these. You have a minimal heel counter to help you contain your ankle on the footbed. Now it doesn't do much by itself, but when you have that one-to-one fit that you need, and you tie the laces up real tight. Now I will say that you do have to tie the laces up after every game or so, because the fit just naturally loosens. So I will say that as a down point on the fit section. Also we have a little nod to the sprint frame, which acts as the heel counter in this situation. Now it is not the sprint frame of old where it kind of rides up and digs into your foot. No, this just helps contain the cushion a little bit and acts as a heel counter. Now on forefoot sections, on crossovers, or where you're really planning your forefoot, you are going to be contained laterally, medially, front to back, side to side, whatever movement you're doing. So if you like that minimal support, you don't need a lot, then this is definitely a shoe for you. Now in terms of the materials, this is a very light shoe indeed, with the Adi Zero being 80% of the build, and then prime knit in the forefoot and the heel section acting as other materials, and then this nice neoprene type material in the back and the heel. And all of this works in tandem together very well. So far, the stitches for the laces haven't popped off yet, which is a good sign. He can tell you from watching the footage that I beat the out of my shoes. So
I mean, they kind of quadruple stitched it, so I would doubt at this rate, unless you're like playing these 3 times a day, I could
which my body will not do.
Yeah, I could probably see like the stitching for the laces coming out, but it looks like they've got it down packed. I mean, overall, it's a solid design, and personally, I'm not mad at it.
Now, I really can't wait till you get your pair, Chris, which, by the way, retail for these is going to be $140, possibly a little less, but the Brenda colorway did come out $140 at Finish Line and at other retailers. So that's the price for these, and I do think that they're worth it for the money, especially since they are on the, I guess, in between range.
Yeah, they're like an all-around, basically. Like, they're not like super crazy, and you don't have to go playing playoff games in these, but I could see you, like, the average person playing like 3-4 pickup games and still feeling comfortable afterwards.
Now, I will say, I do hope that that these do come out soon in other colorways. I'm sure they will, because I don't know how I feel about people coming up to my feet and touching my feet because they don't know what I'm wearing.
I mean, I feel like it's a good thing. It's basically,
it is a good thing.
Them, most
showing
people
interest.
In some cases, seeing how D Rose, like, his career has changed and everything, a lot of people haven't been paying attention to a lot of the D Roses.
Yes.
And I feel like this is Adidas trying to bring that attention back to D Rose, and they're doing a very good job. He's having his redemption time in the NBA, and his sneakers are getting a revamp. So I think it goes hand in hand, and I think it's great marketing. I think they're doing a pretty good job. So overall, Godspeed, Adidas.
Godspeed, Adidas, in the right direction, hopefully. But that kind of takes care of everything for the D Rose 11. Let me know what you guys think of these, and if you guys are going to cop a pair or not. And also check out 3Up Prints for any apparel that you either have a custom design for or SneakerWeb apparel coming soon. Stay tuned for that. Or for 3Up apparel as well. And make sure you hit that subscribe and like bell notification, all that. Y'all know what to do. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Later.